Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Ask the Accountants. I thought I was going to come on saying, "Oh, I'm here, but I'm missing a limb because Aaron's not here." But Aaron, you're here just. I can hear you're in the train station. I can hear the announcements in the background. But yes, good morning, everybody. I hope you are well. You joined us as always at Monday at 8:30 a.m. No matter where we are in the country, we are here for you. Doesn't matter how difficult Network Rail and the British railway system make things for us. We are here, live and ready to go. I'll be doing the majority of the work today because Aaron is having some slight delays. He was due into London at 7:22. Finally arrived at 8:22, but he wasn't late because they just changed the arrival time, so that's okay. You don't count as late that way. I hope everybody is well. I'm going to go through the community first and the comments to say good morning to people, and in the fashion of the comments, everyone's telling me what their weather is. I can report it's grey and overcast here in Edinburgh. But good morning to Cheryl, sunny in South Yorkshire. Good morning to Kirsty, says morning everyone. Dave says good morning everyone from a sunny London. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. We will come back to that. Paul says good morning. Morning, Paul. Susanna says morning, as does Juliet, Marcus, and Suzanne. Morning, everyone. Lovely morning here in Henley-on-Thames. Wonderful. It's grey and overcast here. I say it's grey and overcast. It could be the smoke because Arthur's seat's on fire. So who knows? Yes, there is a wildfire on the large hill next to Edinburgh at the moment, which has got all the tongues wagging, as you can imagine. But yeah, I mean, Aaron, I'm going to try and cut to you and ask you how your weekend was and what you were up to, and let's see what the sound quality is like. Guys, if it's terrible, just tell us, and we will send him packing.
I mean, I'm hoping you're coming through this microphone. Does it sound like coming through this microphone?
Sounds slightly better, yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. The weekend's been good. Today's not been good. I mean, when you wake up at 4:45 in the morning to try and get here ready to do the podcast, just annoying, isn't it? But anyway, weekend's been fine. I suppose it was not too busy. But you guys went to the tattoo, didn't you? How was that?
We did. We were at the Edinburgh Military Tattoo, which is always a good show. Always enjoy it. But this year was their 75th anniversary. And I have to say, they surpassed themselves. They did an absolutely incredible job. But we also managed to get tickets for the Royal Balcony. So we were up there with all the dignitaries, feeling very out of place. Even the First Minister of Scotland was in that box that night. So, and the wife spotted a couple of celebrities that I don't know. I don't have a clue who they were. But yeah, very good show
big
though.
Celebrities? Do you know? Can you name drop anyone?
No, I mean, I can't even remember who they were. So, but yes, it was a very good night, and the show they put on is just phenomenal every year. The coordination, the choreography, not choreography, that's pen. But yeah, the organization, the dance, the music, it's just phenomenal every year. So if you've not done the Edinburgh Military Tattoo, well worth a visit during the August period. So yeah, and then just had a fairly chilled weekend either side of that, really. But yeah, and did you get up to anything other than getting ready to travel to London?
No, it's just a weekend really just working, to be fair with you. I'm off to Guernsey next, so as soon as I've done London, I'm getting on a plane, going off to Guernsey. So yeah, I was packing for that, getting all the, it's like getting the gear sorted, getting all that done. I mean, that took me most of the weekend, to be fair, to try and figure out how we're going to get it on a plane when they have propellers.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's quite a
whole new
thing to
task.
get.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think they really like me just turning up with massive trunks of gear. So, you know, had to do a bit of thing. But no, it was a good weekend. But I'm looking forward to the week now. Apparently the sunshine's going to be good. The company's going to be good, and we've got some great content on its way. So, what more can you ask for?
Not jealous at all. But yes, right. Let's get just tie up on the last few comments. Good morning, says Natasha, the bookkeeper superhero. Sue says, good morning. Just got off the Channel Tunnel train back to the UK from having a full week in France. A few weeks in France. Lovely. Very nice, Sue. Juliet says, grey hearing Gateshead 2. Glad I'm not the only one then. Kirsty says, as an RAF child, I love all that pageantry. I went once, I think it was Earl's Court. Kids were young and appreciated it. Yeah, it's such a good day out. And good morning from Clive as well. Good morning, Clive. Right. We've got a few different topics. I think we'd be amiss to not talk about our favourite tool of the moment. And as I told you, there was an update coming. I warned people there's something coming in August, and they didn't let me down, which is more than I can say for most softwares I use. So, OpenAI, owners of ChatGPT, released ChatGPT 5 earlier this week. Have you had a play with it, Aaron? What are your thoughts?
Did I have a play with it? Of course I had a play with it. I mean, if anyone who doesn't know, a certain Johann was very excited about this and wouldn't stop talking about it. So I literally got hour by hour updates of the of what it could do, of how it would. Yeah, no, of course I had to have a play. I mean, you make us all so FOMO. Do you know what I mean? Like the second that we're not involved in it, it's like, oh, okay, I saw your posts, I saw your obviously the messages, everything else. But no, really enjoyed it. What have I done with it so far? So the first thing I did was tried to help the content that we've got planned for Guernsey. So hopefully that's going to come out quite nicely. And I started playing around with the whole coding aspect of it because I've never used the coding side before. And if anyone's watched the actual the live stream and everything to announce it all, then they really went code heavy, didn't they? There was kind of a lot of there was a really good showcase of how this bloke made his wife a French speaking thing off the fly, which was really cool. And a lot of the YouTubers that I watch, they were all kind of using it for coding side as well. So I had a quick play. I tried to do my work papers again in a different solution because the last time I used Canva and this time I just what would it do in Google sort of thing. And I kind of had a play around with doing that sort of stuff. But overall, really good. Again, the speed at which we were given access to it was really nice. Like we didn't have to wait around. Although I imagine there was some sort of closed beta NDA type thing out there because a lot of people were saying how they've had a weak access and all that sort of stuff beforehand. Yeah. I don't know if that was like...
That's new. That's new to
OpenAI.
OpenAI have never done this kind of release it in beta or gets influencers involved to use it and review it, ready for them to be able to release videos immediately after the live stream, which Samsung, Apple, most technology companies do. They do that. They send the products out early. You get to play with it, make some videos, share your thoughts, but you can't release them until the announcement's been made. But yeah, that's a new thing for ChatGPT for OpenAI, and I think that went well. I think that did okay. I think it caught a lot of people out. I don't think anyone was expecting that kind of content because it is new, but I think it was good. Yeah, I've been playing with it as you'd expect. I mean, the bit I've been doing is really kind of redoing what I was already doing with ChatGPT 4. So I'm finding the agents are a lot faster and a lot more reliable. the deep research is getting deeper and more powerful, but also the way it's throwing information out, it's a lot more human tone to it, which can't be a good thing for education, because they're going to want to they're going to want to be using, kids are going to use it, and the educators are going to be trying to spot AI content from a mile off, and it's getting harder and harder. So that's I've just been playing with it for that, really. The bit I've
talk me about the agency, because that's the one thing I haven't tried actually in ChatGPT 5. So are we saying that they're more capable now, or what?
I don't know if it's any more
what you could do
capable.
before and couldn't do now, sort of thing.
I don't think it's any more capable. I think it can do exactly what it was doing before, but its thinking time is shorter. And it's achieving more in that time limit than it was beforehand. So it's just the next evolution of it, isn't it? It's just continuously going in that direction. But what I've actually spent quite a lot of time on this week is that study and learn module. So we've got a client manager who is struggling a bit with translating their knowledge into plain English for the client. So I've developed a prompt that I gave them to put into their ChatGPT on study and learn, and just to help them try and work on their customer communication and stuff. It's phenomenal, absolutely outstanding. Like, one of my team hadn't really kept up with MTD it, because it wasn't really something they deal with, but they're probably going to be dealing with more and more. So they used the study and learn module for them to learn MTD it, and it was brilliant. So it established who you were and kind of context of what you're involved with and what you'd need to know for MTD it. So like, oh, are you looking at is this for your own awareness? Is it because you've got clients you support, etc.? And then it would start going, right, here's the first bit of information, the background towards it. And it would then ask a question. I mean, one of the questions it asked was, what is the reason behind rolling out MTD it? Now, it was a bit cynical, and one of the answers was to help the government collect money faster and raise more in taxes. So jokingly, we went, oh, we'll take that option. And it went, yes, this will be a large part of the reason behind MTD it is better control of tax revenue, but it's also to give people better planning and better organization and awareness of upcoming tax bills. So it's like, okay, so it's cynical enough to go, yeah, you're right. There is an influence of getting the money in, but here's how we spin that to make it a more positive message. And it's like, that's a very cool tool. So I've got two staff members that are much better off today than they were a week ago in their knowledge of a certain area because of study and learn. It's going to be a phenomenal tool.
It reminds me, actually, and I wish I'd known about that, because I was using, I found another use case for Copilot. So ideally, we would have had everything on ChatGPT at this point, right? But there's still some circumstances where Copilot still reigns supreme. And in this particular case, it's because it now records, with consent, obviously, every one of our daily team meetings. So 10 o'clock till 10:30, sometimes a bit longer, we have a daily team meeting at Bofix. And one of my favourite parts of it now is because it's recording it and everything else. It also goes, oh, Aaron, you really need to listen to this tiny bit. And it's giving me like this daily summary. Sometimes absolute rubbish, as you can imagine. But this particular time was brilliant, because it was telling me how the team were all sat there, because I wasn't there, not knowing how to deal with factoring. And in my mind, I'm like, of course my team knows how to deal with factoring, right? Like, my assumption is that everyone's on board with it, everyone knows what's going on. But actually, no, the team didn't know how to deal with factoring, hadn't really dealt with it before. And, we're basically hoping I was going to be online for that particular meeting so that they could talk about it. And that AI basically said to me, look, you're definitely going to have to talk to me about factoring going forward, because they struggled to understand it. They didn't know what the answers were. They picked that out of a. I mean, this was a longer meeting. I think it was like a 45-minute meeting, something like that, and it picked out this three to 4 minute section to do. So now if we couple that with, all right, let's deal with what faction is. Let's give that explanation next time that we have a meeting, because I've been prompted by AI to give it, so I can go through there. Then use this tool, don't you, to go, well, let's test your knowledge. Let's figure out, do you now understand it? You know, next time if I'm not around, will you be able to figure out? I think that's really, really powerful, isn't it? So
Yeah,
that's where we're starting to get these tools getting together, aren't we?
yeah, and it's got the same process as like a lot of software training, like QuickBooks and stuff. It was like, right, we're going to look at a segment, we're going to look at a feature or something, then we're going to test you on that bit that you've just covered. Then we're going to look at something else, or the next step or the next phase from that, and then we're going to test you on that. And if you get the answer wrong, it's like, okay, that's not quite right. Here's why it's not right, and here's what the right answer is, and here's why. So that, and then it asks, does that make sense, or would you like us to go back over this area for you and cover it a bit more? And yeah, it's just a hugely beneficial tool. I think anyone that's got employees, or anyone that's got an area that they want to like improve their skill set, and not just technical, customer service, like anything like that, you could use ChatGPT Study and Learn for now. Like any new staff, I will be putting them through Study and Learn with my prompt so I could see how they get on with customer questions and scenarios like that. I mean, governing bodies aren't doing that. Education authorities aren't doing that. And I can now do it for free using Study and Learn. So hugely beneficial tool there. Very excited for that. So yeah, go on.
I do have one feedback of the actual presentation though. I feel like they've been brilliant up to this point, right? And I feel like they're still trying to find their place, because they typically, or to this point, they've never gone as glossy and as what do you call it, as QuickBooks, as Apple, right? Like they've never gone down that route. But at the same time, they've never like they've got this thing where it's interesting enough typically for us to like be as geeks like want to take in all that information. I felt like this one kind of missed the mark a little bit. I think we were so excited for it, but they didn't quite nail this in terms of being able to get that perfect blend, did they? And I found my favourite bit about it as well is clearly they're not using ChatGPT 5 either, because one of the slides had an error message on it, or didn't make sense, where like it was 69% or whatever it was, but it was showing that as the same as 35%, and little things like that, right? Like I feel like they need to find a way just to because they're trying to find their voice at the moment, right? It's such a young company. They need to find that voice. They need to find that voice quick, because this you know, that particular one wasn't the best presentation I've ever seen, right? And normally they nail it for bringing their own kind of uniqueness to it, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a very long presentation, like 70 odd minutes, and a lot of it was completely and utterly over my head, because it was all about coding and development really, and what you can now do with it. Like Engage's development team are now looking at this going, okay, how can this help speed up our project? Because we were already using AI tools to help speed up development process and to test code that's been written, or to write the foundations of the code for us to then build on it. But we're now like, okay, what can this tool do compared to what we've currently got, and go from there. But yeah, it was a very long and quite a dry 70-minute conversation with them. But yeah, Paul says, interesting topic. As my business is growing, I thought about introducing regular team meetings, but not sure how to structure them or what to discuss. Any pointers? So we don't do it in my firm to the level that Aaron does it in his, but I'll cover mine first. So every Tuesday we have a Teams meeting, where we have a client manager meeting. So we don't bring everybody in, otherwise that would be quite unruly. But we have a client managers meeting, and then they have meetings with their team, individual pods, throughout the week when it suits their pod. So we have our meeting. Literally, it's 45 minutes once a week. And all we're doing in that meeting is really coming together, chatting. How is everyone? How is everybody? What's going on in everyone's lives? Just to feel part of the team, as it were, because we've already got such proactive communication on Teams and stuff throughout the week that we're not really there to discuss client cases. We're there just to catch up and say hello and be a team. But also, like, put out anything like, we're investigating this software solution, or the ChatGPT has just launched this new model. Go and have a play with it. These are the use cases and stuff. So it's kind of very high level. We don't get bogged down. If there is something someone wants to go, look, I've got this client, they're causing me a bit of a headache. This is the scenario. What's everyone's thoughts? Then we do that. But normally that's only because it came up on the Monday and we're meeting on the Tuesday. Because we wouldn't, if something came up on the Wednesday, we wouldn't wait for the next meeting. We'd jump on some calls with the relevant people and thrash it out. So yeah, we keep it quite informal. It's more of a catch up, touch base of the team, generic announcements and stuff like that. Focuses, goals. So like last week we had a big focus on clearing down overdue and on hold services and tasks, and updating our notes to be relevant for that. But yeah, we don't get too bogged down in, well, client A, they're up to 78% of their work in papers, and client B's VAT return's nearly ready. I've just got to look at three more different receipts or anything. Our focus is on the culture of the business more than it is on the technical side. So yeah, that's what we do in my firm. Over to you, Aaron.
Yeah, so ours is different. I think one of the things we've had to deal with is the fact that we've gone from a office-based practice to a hybrid-based practice to fully remote, right? And one of the things that we definitely lost out on from being in the office to now being fully remote is people just knowing who's working that particular day, right? Like who's actually working there, what they're doing, and what tasks are people doing, and is someone available to jump on a call if they need a problem or whatever, that sort of exposure. So we brought in quite early on when we went fully remote was what we call a daily and a WIP, so work in progress. So a daily is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and it's 10 till 10:30 or 10 to 11 if it needs to be. And that's not compulsory. That is anyone who wants to can jump in. It's open mic sort of thing, like we just come in, but we do have a set agenda. And that set agenda is a Google sheet that everyone fills out. So is the inbox clear? Is anything under junk mail? Those sort of, we do like little recalling like housekeeping cleanup bits that we're just going through, and they're just a checklist that we're just going through just to make sure that everything's ticked off. So like you said, nothing massively in depth or anything, more just that high level stuff just to make sure we're on there. But more important than anything else, it's so everyone can see each other's working, so we know who's working, who's not working. We always look at the diary. We talk about who meetings people have got up, that sort of thing. Like we just maybe we can support them, or maybe that meeting's better off with someone else, or whatever it's going to be. Right? Like we use that time to do that sort of stuff. And then on a Wednesday, which is what we call our WIP meeting, our work in progress meeting, that's when we really get into depth, and we look at everyone's outstanding tickets, and we look at what jobs are coming up in the next 30 days, and we go through that sort of in depth to try and make sure that nothing falls through the gaps or anything like that. And we find it really important for us because without that daily interaction for us, because again we're coming from we were in the office, now we're not in the office. I feel like the team would be a little bit lost as to what to do or who to speak to or anything else. And it really helps, especially the newer members of staff. It gives them an opportunity to ask questions. It gives them an opportunity to think through. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And again, from a structure point of view, as Paul's asking there, you just need a Google Sheets or something like that. And the beauty of using something like Google Sheets is then you've got all that wonderful statistics as well, right? Like when we went through and we can see we were able to clear it on this day, but we weren't able to clear it on this day. And we can start kind of look at things and be a little bit more on the ball a bit there. So yeah, I feel like it's hard, isn't it? Because sometimes you think to yourself, well, are we not just wasting 45 minutes or half an hour every single day? Like there's that argument, isn't there, of, well, that could be chargeable work, or do you know what I mean? Like there could be a relevance of it. But I think for us, it's that happy medium where it just gives, it's a comfort blanket. And I know we've had new members of the team kind of start, and especially when they're like freelance, so that they're not fully integrated, they're just nipping in and out. They find it so invaluable just to have that one time of the day where they can go, I don't get it. So who looks after this client? Or I don't get it. How do I get this piece of information? Do you know what I mean? Where there's little tiny things where you haven't gone through in the onboarding or you haven't sorted it out, and it just gives that place to go through. So yeah, give it a go, Paul. Just set a date or set a time. See who turns up, see who doesn't, and then at that point you've got an opportunity to kind of build from that. Haven't you?
Definitely. When I took over the Joe Woods business, they met online every single day. But over 3 months, we gradually brought them down to a weekly meeting in line with the rest of us, because it was too demanding for a daily meeting for us. But we needed to give people the confidence that they could still communicate. There's still a team effort all day, every day in the firm. We just don't all sit on the same call for a while chatting. But once we got to that point, weekly's fine. And I don't go to every single weekly one. That's Jade, our ops manager, looks after them. I will attend if I've got anything I need to cover, or I've got time and I can say hello and stuff. So I try and attend one a month, but it's not always possible with the diary that I have. But as you say, team sends me the transcript. It highlights anything where I've been mentioned, normally unpleasant, insulting things. But that's our culture, and that's okay. So yeah, I know what's happening in those calls because Jade catches me up later in the day. But also I get this transcript where I can go through and see anything. I can watch it back if I wanted to. So yeah, no, it works really well for us. But it's just about working out, Paul, what's going to work for you and your team, because every single team is going to be different. And you'll probably come up with a bit of a middle ground between what I do and what Aaron does, because we're quite extremes on both sides.
100%. Do you use the transcript then? Is that using Google or using Copilot then to transcribe all your meetings regardless? Yeah.
No, we only use it on that team meeting. So yeah. Jade's got Google Jade's got Copilot license, and it's literally just for that meeting. That is the only thing she really uses it for. Everything else is ChatGPT.
Yeah, because we're still debating if it's the right thing to do, recording the meetings and everything else. But yeah, we're figuring it out as we go along. But at the moment, it's become like just for that capturing idea, right? Like it was already becomes a little bit like we can't live without it now. So.
Yeah, no, it's a great tool. So yeah, there we go, Paul. Ashley says sometimes less is more. 70 minutes. Yeah, it was a long, dull, and then they released loads of videos. It's like, hang on, you could have kept it down to a 20-minute presentation for the work for generic, and then gone into deep dive videos like you did anyway. But hey ho, for ChatGPT's announcement. Stephanie says, good morning, driving back from the golf course. Sounds like a good weekend. Nick Robinson, morning, guys. Good morning, Nick. Hope you're well. And Paul says, awesome. Thanks, guys. Not a problem, Paul. Hopefully that's made attending worthwhile today for you. Right. I'm going to cover the next point because I know about this, and then we'll have to default to Aaron. Companies House have now formally announced that they're no longer in consultation. It's no longer we're looking at doing this. As of the 18th of November, you will have to be ID verified to file a confirmation statement for your own business. The directors and persons of significant control have got to be ID verified from the 18th of November 2025. A lot of our listeners here will be, and viewers will be, very proactive, and they will be well on top of this already. It's been a topic of conversation since February, March, for us on here, for Engager. It's in my firm. I've seen it all over LinkedIn and stuff. So there's some debate as to whether, should accountants and bookkeepers be doing the ID checks, or should we just be telling the users, look, this is a responsibility of being a director at a company's house. If you don't do it, we can't file for you. If we can't file, you're getting penalties. So that how it's going to be executed firm by firm is going to be different. But yeah, I mean, at least we've now got a date. I mean, it's company's house, right? So it's probably going to then move to like the 18th of December, because they weren't quite ready when they thought they were. But yeah, let's think positively. Let's have some hope that they're actually going to deliver on the 18th of November like they promised they will. Any thoughts on this one, Aaron?
I don't know how you can be positive about this. I'm so annoyed. More so about just, again, where was the communication? On the day of release, was it Tuesday last week, Wednesday last week, Thursday last week? Whatever day it was released, I can't remember exactly when the email came out, but there was no prior warning. There was no, as accountants, here's some information, which would have been nice. But even more than that, even the, because I was on an AML training session that day, so it was a live webinar brought to you by my institute, and I had to jump onto the training session and say, oh, by the way, because they didn't know, because they were delivering it live, they didn't know this had been planned to come on, just to say, look, by the way, it's been announced, it's on the 18th of November, and this is going to come into play. So clearly, the institute had no, prior warning about this. You as a developer, you've had no prior warning about this, and you've got to get everything, up to date. You've got to make sure it's on the roadmap. It's just a nightmare. Like, how? Like, in what universe do you just go, okay, we're going to release something, let's go copy paste it every email? Remember these emails as well, we've been given them as in good faith, because we've been adding them as part of our COSEC updates, isn't it? The registered email thing is what I believe is what they're using to fire, right? So we're supposed to just be okay about the fact that it's all right, we'll just do a blanket reply, everyone's going to get told at the same time, and it's just caused, yet again, more work for us, more questions for us, anything else. I feel so sorry for you guys as developers, right? Like, I know from Engager's point of view, it's like, look, here's a really useful help guide, here's how you can set it up yourself. I've never gone through the help guide, but I imagine you also say you can use your forms to collect the data and stuff like that, right? Like, there's going to be, ways in which you can do as much as you possibly can given the tool set you have. But ideally, you don't want anyone creating their own place for this, right? Ideally, you want to have one ready and waiting to go, because you want that code to start being populated by your AML solution, or you want that code to go into your accounts production solution, or your company's house solution. Like, if we've all created our own place for this code, then we're going to just cause ourselves problems later down the line, right? Like, we're waiting for ourselves to have a headache going forward. And all we needed was a little bit of communication from ourselves, or delay it by, say, tell us it's going to be, and delay it by 3 months to give time for developers to go out there, build us a solution that means we could actually deliver this. Because all it's going to do now, without a slick solution, which we're not going to get in that time frame, let's be honest, we're just going to spend more time, more resources, more ins and outs.
There's no APIs going to be available for so all the developers are actually going to be able to do right now. So when did this come out? On Wednesday, this email came out. So Wednesday morning, me and Ash jump on a call. We plan it all out. We've got a plan, but users just think, it's another text box, isn't it? It's just another field. So yeah, but behind that, you're going to want filtering. So filter by who has and hasn't got one. you're going to probably want to be able to export and import them. You're going to want to have them included in different views. You're probably going to want us to sense check that it's the right amount of digits. Like, then it's got to be available to go onto the forms. Like, it's not just a text field. Like, in theory, in the consultation documents, there's all sorts of great plans from Companies House where in the next 18 to 36 months, there's going to be API features that will, a bit like a VAT number checker. So you can put a VAT number in, and it checks that it's a genuine VAT number, and it tells you who that's registered to. The same theory is in place for the personal identifier numbers from Companies House, but that requires them to build it first, and it's still only in consultation, so they may never build this. So we're trying to work out what are they looking to build that they may never build, so that we can build today ready to plug in the future. Because if we just do our own thing, and then they do something, and then we're not, it's going to take even longer to unpick our mess to rebuild it. But we are working on it. And then just to add, so Ash and I finalized all the plans for it, but then it landed just as Peter went off for a long weekend. So actually, we've got the theory, but we need to make sure with Peter that it's viable. And then we need to prioritize it into our roadmap. Like, we've got a roadmap for the best part of 2 years at the moment. Where the hell is that going to fit in? What do we push further down the line to make way for this Companies House change?
Yeah, and what's Companies House doing to help you in this? Absolutely nothing. It's just an expectation, right? It's expectation. It's, the accountants will figure out one way or another. I mean, just implementing this as a, just to kind of get it off the ground has taken me 10 hours of time in my practice at the moment of figuring it out, going through it all, trying to understand it all, trying to,
I should have used ChatGPT.
No. And to be honest, a lot of that was ChatGPT, right? We've had to figure out our new engagement letters. We've had to figure out where we're holding it, our data protection policy, and all that sort of stuff's now going to be in place. And again, I'm just building this on a really short-sighted of, I'm going to create a field to put the information in, but for this to be seamless, I need it to be in a place where all my systems can see that number, right? Like, which is never going to happen. I mean, I'm delusional to think that would ever happen. But what if I decided, this is the reason why I'm going to move to TaxCount, right? Because hopefully one day TaxCount can engage or will have this wonderful connection, and that'll be one less thing I need to worry about because it will be able to grab that data and bring it in. They're the sort of decisions that these systems or these changes should be like doing for us, like helping us get a more streamlined solution. And it's not, because all I'm doing now is chasing my tail.
And any confirmation filing software has now got to go and stop. All of these nice to have developments that we've got planned that we're selling the product on now need to be postponed and delayed while we build this solution out, because we need to transmit further information in the form of a personal identity number with the confirmation statement and then with the account. So yeah, it's just gonna be a nightmare.
I fully get that they release it to the new limited companies. On board with that. Like, let's have this whole new thing where you to set up a limited company, you're going to have those key stakeholders provide this code. That's absolutely fine. And it's up to the decision of the accountant, isn't it? If they're going to create that code on behalf of the client, or if they're just going to ask the client to provide it before they set up the company. Fully on board with that. That is a, yes, it's going to take a little bit longer to register a company or form a company, but we don't do that. Well, most of us don't do that on a daily basis, right? That's something that's a nice to have extra service. We either do it or we don't, and we can build that. And if we have to take an extra 20 minutes, 15 minutes, so be it. Like, that's fine. Maybe add an extra price to your fee to justify it, or whatever it's going to be. Like, that's absolutely fine. I'm fully on board with them bringing that bit in, and yes, they can do that in November, no problem. The sooner the better, I think, in that, because I think it is a benefit to everyone. But this update where we can't even file a confirmation statement unless we got the codes, it's just putting so much pressure on us, right? Like we are going to have to do it. And it's not just getting the code, we've got to clean up the whole company size database as well. Me personally, right? I like to think I know what I'm doing. I like to think I understand it. But even I have Aaron Patrick on a company, and I have Aaron Henry Patrick on another company, and I have you know what I mean? Like I've got so many variations of just me alone, where I've tried my best to do it, and it's just, you know, just happened over time. I've now got to spend my time cleaning that up because I need to make sure that I'm then going to go through for my own filings, and that's just me, right? You times that by your client base, another X amount of admin time we've got to spend, and it's really difficult to charge a client for this. Like it's really difficult to pass this cost on, isn't it?
Yeah, and yeah, it's like Paul said here. Like he's already wasted loads of time with clients on this, trying to sort the ID thing out. Just today, he's got to go and visit a client to help him log into his one account because he deleted the email with the personal ID before giving it to him. But yeah, and this is the problem: is like it's another level of technology and understanding. Do many clients realize that there's an NFC tag in their passport that if they have an app on their phone and they hover it over that passport, it verifies that identity? Probably not. You know, like we're going to spend a lot of time explaining things. Whether we do it ourselves, it's going to take time, or whether we do it for our clients, is going to take. Whether we get the clients to do it themselves and they have to explain it, it's going to take time. I think we're going to be doing a hybrid approach of, look, you can do it yourself like this, or we'll do it for you, and it's going to cost you X. But again, it's another thing for us to be doing instead of our job of adding advisory and value to our clients' journey with us, because we're ticking yet another compliance box. Stephanie says we have clients who want to pay us to do it because they really struggle with technology. Do we have the time frame when we can verify them as ACSPs? No. So you're the ACSP, Stephanie. You're the accredited corporate service provider, and anyone that needs a confirmation statement filing on or after the 18th of November, you will not be able to file it without a personal identifying number for that client. So as the ACSP, you're going to need to get that beforehand. And I think the ID numbers take a couple of days to come through at the moment. So you can't just go, oh, it's the 18th, I've got to file your confirmation statement today. Can you go through this process of give me your passport or whatever? You're going to need to plan ahead for this and get on board with it quite early. So we are already looking in my firm at looking at whose confirmation statements are coming up first from the 18th of November, and then we'll be starting from there and going, right, here's a new change, here's a link to explain it from Company's House so you see it's genuine. You can either do it yourself or we'll do it for you for X amount. Nick says, do you know what would be being charged to do this on behalf of the client, Johann? So what I'm hearing is anywhere between £35 up to £90 per person to be identified. I'm hearing some people go, well, we'll charge you 60 quid for the first one and then 25 quid for each one after that, because we're already entering the data. So there's an efficiency gain from doing a mass amount. So if you've got 10 directors or persons of significant control, it's actually more efficient to do 10 for one company than it is to do 10 individual companies. So they're trying to reflect that in their pricing. But yeah, they've not really, there's nothing, I'm not seeing anyone's actually started charging. It's all a bit theoretical at the moment. I've seen a couple of people charging 25 quid a go. And their feedback on social media has been, everyone wants us to do it for 25 quid. We're too cheap. So yeah, I suppose it's got to be, you've got to charge enough for them to go, I'll do it myself, or to really value you doing it because they value their time. So yeah, it will be down to your client base. Like if you've got a client base of high value clients and you charge 50 quid a person and they look at it and go, "Oh, that's pennies. That's fine. You can have that." Then you've landed yourself some work. But if you've got so you might want to charge, so you need to come up with a charge based on your client base, basically. But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
So I maybe I jumped the gun and maybe I've done it because we're already charging for hours. We spoke to a couple of clients, like, how's this going to work? What's the fairest way? And we came up with just a flat fee. So every director that we have to hold the data for, or we have to do it for, we're not going to charge differently for each one. We just want a flat fee for each one. So basically, every director we act for that we're going to have to file for going forward, we just put a £5 onto their business, their bill per month each.
Okay, so you're
just a flat
you're
fee,
charging 60 quid a year per director to first of all verify the identity and then to store that data.
Yeah, and then continuing to support them, continue to help them file going forward, and that's going to go from there. So, it feels wrong. It didn't feel right when I did it, but every client was like, well, all the clients we spoke to were like, it's only a £5 extra per. We that's not going to break the bank for us. Do you regret that?
I think actually it's not worth a £5 a month to us because I've got to do all this extra work of identity in the beginning.
Yeah, we won't until like year 2, 3, or 4. Like obviously we're going to lose out, right? But it was just a happy medium that we just wanted to get to. We wanted to get on board with it as soon as possible. We wanted to get everything kind of started up. So we've already started that. And so far, no pushback from it. Are we going to make money? Absolutely not. Is it going to go towards at least giving us something back? Yeah, you know what I mean. It makes it a little bit of a better, makes the pill a little bit easier to swallow, right?
Yeah.
But we're all going to have to deal with it different ways, and it's really difficult, isn't it? It's really difficult to find that right solution to go forward. Because also, if you're just doing it on an ad hoc basis, and you've got to build this, how do you bill for that on an ad hoc basis? You've got to have that control in place to make sure you don't miss billing them, and every time it becomes.
Oh, that's easy. That's where you just have that's where you have a company's house personal ID registration service in Engager that has a couple of phases, and one of those phases is trigger the billing warning saying, "Have you billed for this?
Yeah.
Yes or no?" If they're directors, they're probably already on your admin direct debit mandate. The company's probably picking up the bill as an administration cost of running the business. At which point we raise the bills once we're doing the work, and then admin just goes and picks it up for us. That's the least technical part of it for me. I'm more worried about the workflow.
But even turning on a service, right, adds X amount of time. Like it's just tricky. And again, it goes back to, I know you were trying to say at the beginning that it's like this isn't the world's worst news in the world or anything else, but I just feel like companies' health can be better than this. Like surely they can do better. Surely a little bit of communication, a little bit of thing. And all right, not to us accountants, fair enough. We're just mere mortals, but at least to developers, at least
there should have been 3 levels of communication here. Software companies that are providing company secretarial services. Then it needed to filter down to the ACSPs. We are registered as accredited or corporate service providers. What's the point in doing that if we're not going to get the heads up first, and then to every director and person of significant control in the UK? But instead, we just blanketed everyone all at the same time, and we're fielding calls when we haven't checked our emails.
Or giving a whole AML course and webinar and being blindsided by it. Like, how unfair is it to them? Like, they're if they feel like they don't, or, there's going to be doubt in their mind of, do these people really know? Well, of course they do. Of course they do. Yeah, they didn't check their emails that one morning, before. They were probably prepping for this webinar, right?
Yeah.
just makes my blood boil, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, completely agree. Okay, so we've only got 10 minutes left. You've got an item on here: Apple to build a new GPT rival. I mean, I'll be honest. Based on their current Siri tool, I'm not worried.
You may not be worried, but surely they've got the resources to figure this out. I was just surprised because when they first said they wanted to, it was just improving Siri, wasn't it? That's all we've ever heard. Bringing Apple Intelligence, and Apple Intelligence was just going to be a really cool way of getting more out of your devices, right? That's what we were expecting. Apple Intelligence. That's what they've always sold it to us, and like you've rightly said there, you're not actually be able to deliver on that yet, have they? Like that's still still a while to go.
Is this just going to be powered by ChatGPT though? Ultimately, like Clive said in the comments that the big news no one's mentioning is ChatGPT 5 now powering Microsoft Copilot. Like, I don't know that I don't know. I'm not convinced Apple trying to build their own AI model. I mean, it's not worked for them for the last 18 months. I'm not convinced it's going to work for them anymore.
No, but basically this story's come from a rally call, hasn't it? Tim Cook was like, let's get everyone excited again. Let's do it and let's rival ChatGPT. Let's build our own language model. Blah 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 blah. I don't know. I just feel like if they can't do it, who can? Who else can? And, Intuit's building theirs, Intuit Assist. I know that's going to be very much aimed at particular areas like moving the thing. I do feel like this is it's an opportunity, isn't it? Like there's an opportunity to because what we want ChatGPT to have a big rival next to it. Is Gemini really going to be that one? Doesn't feel like it at this point in time. We've just mentioned Copilot. That's just powered by ChatGPT anyway, right? So they can't have any threat from that. And I know there's the other models out there, and they're doing okay, aren't they? But they're not anywhere near. I just feel like, don't we want a 2-3 horse race to really liven things up?
Like, that's why we love that Sage, Free Agent, Xero, and QuickBooks are in such tight competition because it keeps spurring each other on. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, but I'm not expecting anything in the short term, put it that way, or medium term for that matter. And the final topic for today, Aaron, you spotted some fake news. I saw you challenging this on LinkedIn. Someone was hyping on that every payment over £1,000 is going to be reported to HMRC. What's the context behind this one?
Well, it definitely got the social media attention because, again, like you just said, there was a post on prominent LinkedIn. I won't name and shame because I feel like they definitely didn't read the full report. They basically saw the top line and then went off a big rant. But I've seen it a few times pop up. There's this thing about we're making taxes as tool with everything else that's come along. There's this expectation that if you're going to buy something that's over £1,000, then suddenly that's going to get told to HMRC. Very, very similar to how now eBay can learn about what's happening with your selling, and with Amazon and Vinted, and there'll be other online marketplaces added every single year now, right? Like that's an expectation now, isn't it? That HMRC are just going to keep getting these databases and going to keep doing it. And especially with that eBay one, we've seen so many clients be affected by it, and we've had a lot of people get stung by it. So they're new clients now, they weren't clients back then, but we've definitely seen that working. So the idea that HMRC are going to try and find more ways to be more aggressive and trying to find it, I can see where that's coming from, and I can see it's almost kind of this fairy tale world that we want to be in with making taxes, isn't it? Where every expense and every income is going to be on a blockchain somewhere, and going forward, we won't even
invoicing, isn't it? Like over in Europe, every invoice is technically visible to the authorities.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of build on it. And there was this big push that, oh yeah, every time you buy something now, HMRC is going to know about it. Big Brother's watching, blah blah blah, and all this and other. And this particular case, they were like, well, this is another reason why I'm leaving the UK and I'm off to Dubai because I don't want this Big Brother approach, blah blah blah. But if you think about your client base, how the devil would they ever be able to implement and have a solution where they're going to be able to every £1,000 project? It's impossible, right?
I mean, the majority struggle to file an annual tax return on time. Never mind, quarterly VAT returns, quarterly tax assessment. Like, that's a challenge. Trying to report every transaction, it's got to be automated. It's not happening. But yeah, it's
exactly. We all know it's just interesting how I think everyone on this, who listens to this will see it and see fake news, right? And a lot of people will in our circle. But you leave our circle, and everyone just sees like HMRC as this big technological giant that can turn these features on and off and can snoop in and snoop out there. I mean, we've just been talking about it. We can't even get them to authorize our clients properly, or be our client base can be on the same login. Like that's the level we're actually
at. It's the same concept as this is 2025's version of the 1980s, 1990s van parked up outside listening into who's watching TV without a TV license. Like, there's always theories and myths and legends that they've got all this technology, or that they're listening to you, listening to the TV. There's a man with his headphones on in the back of that van. Whether any of it's ever true or not, a different matter entirely.
Exactly. Just so you know, behind the scenes, I am going to really struggle to close this stream down. So whenever you want to close the stream down, you go for it.
Oh. Right. Okay, guys. We will call that quits because Aaron's having some technological problems. Ready for this? Thank you very much for joining us. Apologies for Aaron's audio and being out and about, but British Rail let us down a bit there. Hopefully everyone's going to have a fantastic week. We will be here same time, same place next week, but at least we're consistent. Doesn't matter what's going on, we are consistently here. And that is what we're told is the key to all social media, is consistency. So we will see you all this time next week for all the latest news and insights in the technology and the accounting and bookkeeping world. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.